Next up, at UFC 284, we have Kleydson Rodrigues taking on Shannon Ross. Kleydson Rodrigues, 7-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the loss to CJ Vergara. Shannon Ross is 13-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is coming off the knockout loss. A knockout loss on the Contender Series. This is an interesting fight. This is a fight where, in theory, I love Kleydson Rodrigues, and then I feel like I can't trust him all the time. And he's a very well-rounded guy. He's a big prospect. He's got a ton of potential. He's got versatile striking. He'll mix in kicks really well. He has power. Then he has solid jiu-jitsu. He's got great takedown defense. He works in his own takedowns. He's got nice trips from the clinch, like a Greco style in wrestling. He is coming off that loss to CJ Vergara, where he was really creative with his strikes. He had some well-timed takedowns early, but started to fade a little late. And if we know CJ Vergara, that dude never stops. He's just going to stay in your face the whole time. Shannon Ross, pretty well-rounded guy. He is basically a wrestler. That's his primary discipline, but he does get sucked into just back and forth firefights. His Contender Series loss, watch that fight. That dude is tough as hell. He took a beating, got up, kept coming, and then ultimately got put out. But he's a busy guy. He fights hard. He's got solid takedowns, but he's very, very hittable. Kleydson should win this fight. Klaydson's the pick. The one thing that worries me here is like Klaydson's got all the talent in the world, and I'm not basing this next statement off anything other than just a weird feeling. I just feel like he's going to be one of these guys that is so incredibly talented, he's never going to live up to it. I feel like he's going to lose these weird fights like this. He should have beat CJ Vergara. He's so much better than CJ. He should have blown through CJ, and he didn't. And I do think he wins this fight, but I just worry that if you're going to pressure him and back him up like crazy, you don't give him any room to get his kicks going, and he may have some trouble. So Klaydson's the pick. I have not bet on him. The line movement says I should, but I haven't, and I won't. That's the pause. Now you talk.
Yeah, Klaydson's, the extremely better fighter in this matchup. Absolutely everywhere. In the striking, in the grappling, in the wrestling. Wherever he wants his fight to go, he's going to be the better fighter. And you mentioned the CJ fight. I think that was the best thing that could have ever happened to this kid, because there was a lot of moments in that fight where 90% of the people in that position would have just quit. Literally would have just turtled up. They would have quit. They were getting beat on. CJ's in full mount. You know what this kid did? He stayed in there. He stayed tough. And every single – I think in the second round, CJ, and I could be misremembering, had like 3 minutes of like full mount control. And by the last minute of the round, Kleydson reverses the position. He finally finds a sweep. He didn't give up. He knew the round was over. I lost this round. He was still working for it and found the sweep. It ended up on top in that round. I actually loved that fight for him against a tough guy, as you mentioned, CJ, because CJ does not stop. But Kleydson did not. He had his own moments in that fight, but he did not quit. And he showed when push comes to shove, and it's time to be the hammer, because we mentioned all the time, hammers and nails. When it's time to be a nail, rather, he's always the hammer. When it's time to be the nail, he can be the nail and turn back into the hammer in a fight. And I love seeing that in that last fight versus CJ. And what was pretty, it was a interesting fight at times, I would say. But Klaydson's the much better fighter in this matchup. He proved how tough he was in his last fight. In case something happens in this fight, he can overcome adversity, and he's just way, way better than Ross in this matchup. And I absolutely love him, and I think that this is a breakout performance, and he's going to dominate this fight wherever he wants to take it.
Listen, I don't disagree. He's the pick. I said he's genuinely, unbelievably talented, and I'm not. That whole, I don't think he's going to live up to his potential. I don't even know where that's coming from.
It's called just him like a pussy.
Absolutely not. Did I say that? And I
rewind it.
Okay. I just, I don't know. I hope I'm dead wrong, because he is very, very, very talented. So I hope I am wrong. I just feel like he's going to be the type of guy that we're all going to love, and he's going to be in those close type fights and not get it done. But he should absolutely beat Shannon. Like you said, he will be better everywhere in this matchup. $8,800, you spending it? Sounds like it's great value.
I think it's pretty good value, because I think that he comes in and uses his wrestling a little bit more in this matchup than he normally would. And if he does that, I think he can finish this fight early if he uses his grappling. So I like the value.
Yeah, I mean, I think 8,800 is probably pretty safe. Like I said, I do think he wins. I'm not going to bet on him. I don't love the line movement. And so, he still doesn't have. If he had a UFC win, it'd be a little different, right? But he doesn't. If you want to unlock all our bets, weonpicks.com, click become a member. We have like a little donation chain. What is it called? What do you call it?
A train.
Chain. I was going to say chain gang, and I was like, that's right. $2 super chat from Quint Lazenby. I0 is the man. Like the stream. He's talking about the $100 super chat from earlier. Thank you very much, Quint. I owe you prize picks, plays. You will get them. I promise. Prince Vegeta, keep it up, boys. Well, thank you, Prince, and we will get Jacob under control, and then we'll be good to go. And then a $5 super chat from Rocky Rodrigues. Jacob, have you taught Angelo about the pussy? Should I was
Next
so
up.
hesitant. I was so hesitant to read that. I don't know what it means, so I guess we'll just leave it alone.
Next up.
All right, next up it is.